Thank you for staying with us. It's still Sports Tonight, and use some highlights of some games, of course, in the Africa Cup of Nations. Let's quickly take you to Gabon now and tell you that today we started the second round of games in the Africa Cup of Nations. We're taken to Group A. Earlier on, Gabon and Burkina Faso played out a thrilling 1-1 draw, and as we speak, we have played 57 minutes of football, the second game of the night. And guess what? The indomitable Lions of Cameroon are trailing newcomers Guinea-Bissau 1-0. It was a goal scored early in the first half, and the Cameroonians are really struggling to keep pace with Guinea-Bissau. That probably will be the biggest upset in Nations Cup history. I
was listening to the commentaries, and the analysts were saying Cameroon are the indomitable Lions and they're playing against the wild dogs of Guinea-Bissau. Naturally,
indomitable Lions against wild dogs.
You expect the indomitable Lions to devour the wild dogs, but it seems the wild dogs
are turned.
You know, and the way the guys are playing, it might just be more. Although you must say it's a depleted Cameroon squad, but it's still not an excuse. When it comes to Africa, the Cameroonians, they have the experience, they know how to play on the big stage. But you know, still a lot of minutes. 30 minutes, it's a long time in football. So a lot can still happen. And if you compare that,
of dramatic comebacks in this competition.
Compare that with the first game played today. I mean, at some point you thought the Stallions were running away with it, but the guys from Gabon kept their cool, got the goal, even though they wanted more. But at least it's better than nothing. Although I feel that their part becomes treacherous. That it's more difficult for them now because they're playing the final game of the group against Cameroon.
All right, Onye, let me bring you into all of this. We've seen a lot of upsets in this competition.
A lot?
Yeah, I mean, Zimbabwe, Algeria, Onye, you will close your eyes and think that the Desert Foxes will have the Warriors for dinner. But then they were the ones chasing the game.
Yeah, but the Desert Foxes have not shown that they are good, participants at the African Cup of Nations. You know, the last time,
the last pedigree that they came with.
Yeah, they have quality. No doubt, but they have not shown enough enthusiasm.
A lot of surprise results in this competition. Togo against Cote d'Ivoire and all of that. This is the biggest of it all.
Yeah, Guinea-Bissau. One thing is that they are enjoying their game. They are not under any pressure. They are the underdog. So when you come to the tournament, and
first time ever,
and I mean nobody
against the Cameroon that have won this competition about 4 times,
and you are enjoying yourself. So I mean that's working in their favor. And I mean the solo goal they scored was quite wonderful.
Yeah.
In this game,
they're still a contender for goal of the tournament.
Yeah, they might go far. They might go far if they believe. But the problem with this underdog is that at a certain stage,
experience,
they lose motivation. You know, they feel that we have done what
Iceland
beyond expectation.
Like Iceland at the Euros.
And therefore, they fail to realize that you need to push further to get to the semi-final or the final.
Tournament experience.
Yeah. Apart from exhaustion, tournament experience, and
how to play the crucial games.
That's why I didn't consider the Zimbabwe game to be an upset. You know, it would have been an upset if they were able to get that 3 points. And that's why I do agree with you that the Algerians came to this tournament a lot of hype. And on the strength of that first game, if they had played against maybe Ghana or Ivory Coast, they probably would have taken 4 goals. And
they would have locked shop. More experienced would have locked
when
shop.
you're playing against a bigger team, you play in response to who you are playing against. And that's a challenge for the big teams.
Yes.
When you see a small team, there's a tendency for you to play at the level of the team you are playing against. But when you are up against a bigger team, you don't need anybody to motivate you that you are playing against a team as good as you are. So you raise your game.
That could also be responsible for the exhaustion, because sometimes when they play against a big team, they just throw everything that they have. And when they win that game and in subsequent matches, it looks as if there's nothing left in the tank. But for me, I've not seen upsets.
In this competition.
No clear-cut upsets.
Maybe if this one ends this way.
That's
But what does this hold for us, Nigeria? Because for us, Nigeria, watching this competition, we're not there. We're watching for a number of reasons. Yes. We're monitoring our World Cup opponents, see what they look like, whether they can worry us. what can you make of this Cameroonian team? We cannot afford to take anything for granted.
Yes.
And think this is how they're going to come play us in August.
There's still a long time between.
It's still a long time for them to improve this squad, get the other players in. Those who have decided that they're not going to play for Cameroon again, a lot can still happen. They can be lured back, and then they can have a good team against us in August.
You can look at it in two ways. You know, the first is to look at the way they're playing now and judge based on that. Then the other is to look at the second scenario, which is quite possible. Those guys that have, went on exile can decide to come back.
Oops.
Well,
guess what? The Cameroonians are back. They are back. So it's 1-1 at the moment.
So I'm here to see an upset.
So the upset dream is not so alive anymore.
But back to scenario one. If they're going to play against us with the way we're seeing at this tournament, then I'll say we should go to sleep. Algeria, Cameroon. If this is the way they're going to play, let's go to sleep. But between now and August,
it's a long time.
Some players can just, their form might change, a lot of things, or injury to your own key players, a lot of all of this. So that is why
we don't take things for granted.
We look at their performance, take notes, but then don't sit down and relax and say this is the same way they're going to play. 3 or 4 players in that Cameroon team can just
and even if they are coming with this team, when they hear that they are playing against Nigeria, it's a different proposition.
Absolutely.
Especially when their backs are against the wall.
It's a different proposition. I know we've seen very terrible Cameroonian teams. The day they are playing Nigeria, they become world class.
Make no mistake about it. They don't need any extra motivation when they are playing Nigeria. They want to send a message across that they are still better than us. So for me, we have to prepare. Whether this team or whatever team that go to parade, we have to be on top of our game.
All right, let's talk about tomorrow. We are not talking about the 2018 World Cup qualifiers now. It's the Nations Cup time. We're trying to just fill in, since we are not there, and talk about where we are doing well. But tomorrow there will be games. There will be second round of games in Group B, and those are going to be good games, great games tomorrow. Algeria, Tunisia, North African derby. You can say it again. It's wow. That's like a World Cup semi-final game. It's like the final of the Nations Cup itself. And then Senegal against Zimbabwe. Senegal could be sniffing on the next round if they get a win in that one. But then the way Zimbabwe played against Algeria in the first game, it's going to be a tough game, tough call.
We're in a situation where the margin for error is, in fact, non-existent. To be guaranteed of a place in the next round, you probably have to win your game tomorrow, or else your destiny is not in your own hands. The only person that is guaranteed, the only country guaranteed of a place in the next round, irrespective of what happens elsewhere, with victory tomorrow is Senegal. Victory tomorrow. Well, later we might, the group might, the who comes first might be an issue, but qualification to the next round. I feel that the Teranga Lions, they have the players and they seem to be more composed in front of goal. That might nick it for them. I see the Zimbabweans, a lot of energy, they are creative, but experience on the big stage might just count against them. Algeria, Tunisia probably just sit on the fence for Tunisia, creating the chances and not putting
Tunisia have to come out in this one. They lost their first game.
I don't even think coming out is even the problem. It's they create chances, put it behind at the back of the net. That's I'm tempted to think the Carthage Eagles might make this one on the strength of how well they were able to carve open the defense of Senegal, and with what Algeria
offered against
their lackluster performance. I might, but I'll sit on the fence on that one. But if I'm forced to pick a side, I'll go for it. But I'll close my eyes and say Teranga Lions, and I'll be quick to eat my words if they don't beat Zimbabwe. But I think that the Teranga Lions will beat Zimbabwe.
All right, let me go to do that very quickly before we switch to domestic football, and I go to Oyin Uchimachuku. This is coming from Daniel Igali. We just spoke about Daniel Igali, the Nigeria Wrestling Federation, and Odunayo Adokuroye. And Daniel Igali says Odunayo has been outstanding. A victory over Madsen of Sweden is the greatest victory in her career. That's very, very huge. This was the girl that beat Odunayo so terribly. I think
it was just a move.
It was devastating. at the Olympics. But look at what has happened. Odunayo has come back, has improved, and has taken her out. And she has gone unbeaten in India. That's really remarkable for Odunayo Adekoroye. And of course, Daniel Igali, the president of the Nigerian Wrestling Federation, is very, very happy. We hope we can throw up a lot more of these stars, not just Odunayo. That was the drop. Martin against Odunayo at the Olympics. That was a killer move.
Yeah,
it was a lock. Total lock.
It was.
You know, after realizing what she did today, I was just
trying to imagine.
Praying for
it was the move at the Olympics.
A reversal of fortunes. That what she did today, you know, should have been what she did at the Olympic Games. You know, but you know, a lot of things went under the bridge, and I think with better preparation, Odunayo Adekoroye can repeat this kind of performance at the bigger stage, especially at the Olympic Games and at the World Championship. It shows that she's got the quality, but she needs our support.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the message. And now we don't need to look at that picture too much.
Yeah.
Because it reminds us of what we don't want to remember about
There's
the
a new
Olympics.
picture.
It has changed now.
There's a new
this
picture.
time it's reversed. Odunayo on top this time, and Martin on the mat. All right, so that's for Odunayo and for the message from Daniel Igali on Twitter. Guys, let's switch very quickly, and we will talk domestic football now. It's been a day of action, 9 games played, match day 2 of the Nigeria Professional Football League. Let's start off before we go on a break with the results of those games. 9 of those games played today. There will be 1 game to be played tomorrow. That will be El Kaneme Warriors against Wiki Tourists of Bauchi. That will be the game to be played tomorrow. All right, in Maiduguri, and we pray that that game is able to go on smoothly without any incident, so that football that has returned to Maiduguri can continue to bring the people together. Oye, Ifeanyi from the drama of not concluding their game in Kano, they came back home and they went from -3 on goal difference to +1, because it was a 4-0 whitewash.
Completely decimated MFM.
Baptism of fire for MFM.
I think they will be looking at what they did in Kano and abandoning that game, because it shows they got quality. You know, if you can put 4 goals behind MFM, that it shows that you're capable of achieving much more if you maintain focus in your away games.
All right, so Enyimba, for most of last season, we complained about Enyimba on the road not picking up points. Looks like they started on that note again, went to Jos, and they were 3-0 down at some point before Benebu pulled one back. Is it a case of Enyimba faltering again, or Plateau United just too good this season? Remember, Kennedy Boboye came to Shagamu, beat Remo at home, and they've gone home now to beat Enyimba. Plateau United probably want to be at the top this season.
Well, I think they did something rightly to him. For Enyimba, it's too early to begin to situate things properly. But losing 3-1 for a team of that pedigree, it speaks volume. It shows that a lot of work still needs to be done. And Bego Gubate actually said that after they beat Sunshine Stars, that his players need to up their game. Perhaps they are still suffering from, the long break. They need to wake up from their slumber and start doing the right thing. You must pick some points at home and away if you want to do well in this season. Let
me run through the results now. Lobby Stars won in over Kano Pillars at the Aparaku Stadium. Sunshine beating 3SC, won in Akure. Nasarawa United and Rangers. Rangers lost at home, went on the road to Lafia and picked the point. Good result for Rangers. And then ABS went to Lokoja and got a point off.
They actually scored first.
They scored first.
Came back.
And then in Uyo, it was Aqua United, Rivers United playing out a 1-1 draw. We also had the Gombe United beating Remo Stars by 2-1. Abia Warriors beating Katsina United 2-0. Abia Warriors won away from home in Enugu, and then they've gone home to consolidate against Katsina United. So at the top of the log, the Plateau. Plateau means top, really.
Yeah.
So it's a name. Living your name.
Yeah.
Plateau United. And then Abia Warriors are second. ABS are third. It's still early days.
Yeah.
Rivers United, Kano Pillars are fifth. And then you see Ifeanyi Shooting Stars, Gombe United, Sunshine Stars, MFM, Enyimba, Katsina United, Lobby Stars, Nasarawa, Wiki, Rangers, Aqua United, Tornadoes, El Kanemi. Bottom of the log, newcomers, Remo Stars. Still early days. things can still change. Yemi?
I'm hoping so. Seeing Remo here, I'm just hoping that they've adjusted well. But I have to say it with a bit of caution because it's early days yet. But you know, when you begin to see this, I hope after week 3, probably they'll be out of this one way or the other. 2 losses in a bounce, not really good. You may want to say they are newcomers, but you know, some of the teams
they were almost running away with a draw in Gombe today until a late goal from Gombe United.
But some newcomers or some who just gained promotion are recovering well, right? So, I mean, probably not an excuse, but it's still early, so I don't want to. But you know, for sentimental reasons, maybe because they're from Ogun State,
yeah.
I don't want them to remain.
Okay, all right. We'll go on a quick break now. I'm told we have to go on a quick break, but we are not done with the Nigeria Professional Football League just yet. We'll talk about the league management company. The other day was the hammer falling on FC Ifeanyi, but today is the hammer falling on the champions, Rangers International of Enugu, Lobby Stars of Makurdi, and Tornadoes of Minna. We'll talk about that and more when we return. Join us again.